Hi, this is, it sounds so unenthusiastic, but to be fair, I did this entire video earlier today with all the sunlight and everything, and one of the screens didn't record. Yeah, so take two. This is Relate to Shan, where I talk about soft skills and social skills for awkward Black women and girls, such as yours truly. And we do this in order to build healthy relationships and build meaningful connections with people who get us and like us. Welcome. And I wanted to talk about this topic, really about this show, Love is Blind on Netflix, for the longest time. Everyone has been on this bandwagon, and I'm super late, but that's how I roll. And I thought that this show was the perfect first reality TV show that I promised that I was going to do, and it came at the perfect time. Spoilers ahead. I repeat, spoilers ahead. If you do not want me to ruin this show that I am going to illustrate in this video, pause this video right now, go on, watch the show, then come on back. Did you pause this video? Did you watch the show? Oh, you're back now? Oh, great. Glad you enjoyed it. Well, then back to the show. Enjoy. This is a dating show where singles get together, and it was created by the Lachey's, and they are very obsessed with marriage. And they get a bunch of singles in a specific area to come together to this house for about a week. The men are on one side of the house, the women are on the other side. And the only time they get to interact is when they meet in the pods for their dates. And the pods are separated by a wall, and they cannot see each other in these pods. They can hear each other, they can talk to each other. Before the week is done, the individuals who end up coupled because they like each other, and this is the twist, the only time they can actually meet each other is if they are engaged. Yes, they have to be willing to marry each other in order to actually see the person that they have fallen in love with within a week's time. Yes, yes, yes. Very unconventional by Western standards. After a month's time, then they could they either say I do or they say I don't. I want to talk about these couples, specifically about Maya and Lauren, because I consider them awkward because they are. They're very quirky. They're very silly. They have no problems joking. And the way they joke is very unconventional. They see things that aren't there, and they just, I don't know, they're just very quirky, I find, and they love to laugh, and they have just a light, buoyant energy about them. Both of them do. They're both very different women, but those are some of the things they have in common, and so I would consider them part of the awkward Black woman club. Hey. So and I love their spirits. I think they're awesome, and I definitely want nothing but the best for them. And because of that, that is more reason why I think we, as in this community, can learn from their love story. What social cues can we pick up that allowed Lauren and Maya to find their husbands and find their happily ever after. For now, we're just going to talk about the dating phase, the week that they were in the pods and they didn't see each other. That is what I want to analyze. These scenes can be quite long and my explanations can be quite long. I'm going to break these videos up between 2 or 3 parts. The first part is going to be with Lauren and Cameron because they're season 1, and then season 2's Maya and Jared. This is fair use, right? This is for educational purposes. I'm not trying to steal anything from Netflix. Netflix, please don't come after me. This is a new channel. This is total fair use, okay? Just remember that these videos are for observational and learning purposes only, just so you can see what it is I am pointing to when I talk about certain theories or ideas I have when it comes to social skills and soft skills, such as values, principles, things of that sort. If you have any questions, any thoughts, feel free to put them down below. And while you're at the comments, feel free to give this a thumbs up. Share this video with anyone you think would get some use out of this. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the show, okay?
Here, you don't look like a scientist, which is kind of a funny thing because, like, what does a scientist really look like? But as a scientist, I'm a believer in this experiment. It's removing the confounding variables of ethnicity, race, background, and the big one being physical appearance. None of that matters.
So, I would say Cameron is proven to be someone who is able to think outside of the box, who is able to ask questions, and that is something that I think awkward Black women should consider looking out for. And Cameron is already proven to be that kind of guy by saying that when it comes to dating or even potential marriage, it's not about physical attractiveness, it's not about race, it's not about money or anything about like that. None of that matters. And I want to, which brings me to the next point, principled statements. That is what I would consider to be a principled statement based off of values. He values science. He values, getting away from the confounding variables when it comes to dating that he finds doesn't matter.
Would you say that you're like an introvert or like an extrovert?
I think I'm more naturally introverted, but I can be extroverted when I need to be.
Okay.
How about yourself?
I think I'm a combination of the two. When I am around other people, I'm totally on. But there are times when I'm like, I just want to sit at home, watch movies and chill and drink wine
I couldn't agree
eat
more.
Food.
Yeah. Do you cook?
I do cook.
Okay.
I do cook.
What would you make if we were on a date?
I would probably make either salmon or I would make like some curry chicken, rice.
Oh, yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Now we're
do you cook?
Yeah, I do cook.
I like a man who can cook.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's
I
because
can
I like
definitely
to
cook
eat.
for you.
So that's great.
Yeah. What are you really looking for in a partner?
Somebody who is supportive, someone who's loving. I like when a guy hugs me from behind. It makes me feel like small.
Yeah, that's good.
This is good. You want that back and forth. It's kind of like that ping pong match of first Lauren was asking the questions, and then Cameron, after he got a little more comfortable, then he started asking questions, and it was just like a ping pong, a back and forth of questions and getting to know each other better. And because it's the first date, these are kind of surface level questions, but it's just, they're kind of filling each other out. But there's that reciprocation going on. That is a social cue that I think we should also be aware of. is there sharing of the load, the conversational load of who is giving information? Is there an easy flow of information, easy flow of questions, and are both partners giving equal amounts of both information and questions, right? What might be helpful in order to have this back and forth, and you'll certainly see this in their second meeting, is to have a list of questions already ready, like a Rolodex of questions that you already have in your head that are authentic based or values based questions. What do you like? What do you enjoy doing? What is your lifestyle like? What brings you joy? Even though they're surface level, they're still values based questions because they're focusing on likes, wants, enjoyment, desires. Just get a Rolodex of values-based questions, of various levels of deepness, some that's tailored towards what you enjoy, and then some that's going to be more tailored towards the other person.
The vibe is great. Like, I just feel like a good chemistry with you, like a connection. It doesn't feel forced.
Right.
So now you tell me, like, what's the most important attribute of, I guess, that you want in your wife?
That is an example of a values-based question geared towards the other person. See, in the first date, the questions were values-based, but really more geared towards yourself. And that made sense because you're just meeting each other, you're introducing each other. So during introductions, having values-based questions that, yes, are a little geared towards you, but it's really more about, hey, I like this thing. Do you like this thing too? Oh, you do? Great, let's talk about it. Or, oh, you don't? Well, tell me, what do you like? Those are great for the first dates, and then for, I don't know, when you're trying to get more serious in the relationship, asking questions about the other, specifically about the other person, and exploring the other person's values. It seems like Lauren is aware that she's a catch just by being herself and just by existing. And the reason why I say that is because she is quite confident. So that is a lesson that I think we can learn from Lauren. Learning how to exist and how to be, and that is where our confidence comes from. And in so doing, she's the one that's being chased. She is the one that is, assessing the situation, hence why she's asking the questions. So if you are someone who wants to be chased, you kind of have to have the confidence of knowing that you are someone worthy of being impressed just because you are who you are. And that takes a little bit of time if you don't already have it. And that's okay. That's where knowing your values and your principles and getting to know yourself is all about. That's why I have this video up here talking about values. I also have these articles that I'm going to link down below that you can read. If you're taking on the chaser role, then yes, you're going to have to be yourself, and you're going to have to be authentic, and you're going to have to put your best foot forward. Sure, the roles could flip temporarily or even permanently, but for the most part, if you started off the relationship being chased, that's probably how the relationship's going to be, and vice versa. If you started off the relationship as the chaser, then just understand that you're probably going to have to be the one doing the impressing throughout the relationship. So I just think that's something to keep in mind. Both are perfectly fine. It's just about what you're the most comfortable with.
Laying it all on the line.
Yeah.
You tell me who you are, honestly, and I'll tell you who I am, honestly. And if you accept it, you do. And if you don't, you're just not for me.
You're not for me, yeah.
Yeah, this has definitely changed my life.
So that is a principle-based statement right there from Lauren, where Lauren is saying, hey, if we get along fine and if we're good, then hey, let's get together. But if things don't work out, if you don't like me for me, if you can't accept me for me, then, you know, bye.
Everything just seems so heavy now.
Of course, yes.
I've been trying so hard to figure it out.
Gorgeous.
In relationships, you want to give the other person space to choose you, and you want the other person to give you space to choose them. And that's what I really appreciate about Cameron choosing to ask Lauren to marry him the second time after they've officially met, because he wanted to make sure and give Lauren the chance to make sure that she really wants to be with him, that she is an active participant who he not only chose to be his wife, but that she chooses him to be her husband. And that's what I think the best relationships are. They're the ones that you don't feel trapped in or feel pressured to be in. You're not scared about being in this relationship. But rather are called or drawn to this person. And it's just clicks. It just is. I forgot to mention this earlier, but this is also something that in the first meeting, Lauren talked about how, you know, after she met Cameron, that she felt like the date went so well that she was ready to meet other men. A good date gives you energy to go out towards more dates, whereas bad dates make you go, I want to stop dating. Can I just find the one and just like sit down? Like those are probably not the best dates. They're probably more draining, and you know, it might be worth it to keep looking. With all of these little nuggets that I've said in Lauren and Cameron's love story, and these little nuggets, you were able to take some and, you know, add some to your repertoire, you know, and, you know, keep an eye out when it comes to your relationships. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about Maya and Jarrett in the second season and what their love story looks like. If you like this kind of content, if you like the, you know, me actually bringing up real life examples of what I'm trying to teach here on this channel, then definitely let me know in the comments below. And yeah, please subscribe if you want more of these videos, because that's the only way you'll know. And also hit the bell. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Okay. Bye.